Welcome to the number one top 5 show on the number one podcast network where the penguin is a mascot in the Oceanias. This episode is about the people for who without we would have no games at all. The developers. They range from early greats like Miyamoto and Nintendo to the truly out there and wacky Kojima and the guy from Hazelight. The guest with me today is not Kieran this week, but Dylan Blight.
I'm here, hello.
And a very special guest from the PopCulturists, Ryan Betson.
Hey!
How you going? Thanks for joining us today.
No worries, man.
Oh. Alright, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to start with a very special guest. What is your personal top 5, your first developer?
For me?
And are they in order?
They're not in order. They are just in as they came to me.
The way I like it.
Okay. Because I do it in order and Nick's just like...
Yeah, whatever.
There's no rules.
Well, because like I don't really have like a number one. Like I'm a fan of many devs. That's when I'm throwing the list together. I'm like, oh, this one. Oh, what about this one? What about this one? It was quite a lengthy list I've had to bring down.
If I numbered them, it would be very unegalitarian of me.
Yeah, it would feel weird. I just can't do it. But my first one is very much an easy one. It's Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog, good choice, good choice.
Super easy. Like, it's a given. Everyone knows Naughty Dog make quality content and quality games. But, like, there is little to no other media that I've consumed that has made me, like, actively cry unlike Naughty Dog.
Really?
Like,
Crash Bandicoot's hard, man.
Like, Crash Bandicoot, like, you know, it's... Like when Cortex loses all those crystals and I've got to find them for him.
It's heartbreaking. He's a villain you can side with.
Yeah. And I guess Naughty Dog's something that's also been around like as long as I played games, really. So we've got obviously the Crashes back in the day. Then once they left sort of Crash and went down the Jack and Daxter sort of route, I kind of drifted away. I didn't really do a lot of Jack. But and then right back with Uncharted and Last of Us and where we're at now. Replaying Last of Us again recently, as a father now, that opening scene, I'm like a mess, like a grown man, like 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, I'm like on the couch, a mess. And there's very, very few games at least that can hit me in that way, and I think that's the power and the skill of Naughty Dog to make that happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, my experience with Naughty Dog, like, I played Crash on other friends' consoles, the PS1, because I never owned one, and then I never played a Jack game on the PS2 for some reason, and then my experience really started with Uncharted, and from there, I think they make really quality games, but going back and playing Crash and Jack's, like, I can understand the admiration for them, but they're just really not games for me, so...
Yeah, like those particular 3D character platformers, they're not for everyone. Like I said, I love Crash, but other than that, I'm really not into many other character platformers. They just kind of meh.
Yeah, Dylan hates Crash too.
Naughty Dog was number 2 on my list. Mine are ordered because I love Crash, as listeners of Explosion Network content should know. Big fan of Crash. That's a huge part of my childhood. And then I did play all the Jack and Daxter games. They were a big part of my PS2 era. All of them through to the kart racer. Yes, of course. And even the Crash games. I played the stupid Crash Bash. Yep. The PS2 ones I played of Crash.
Are they Naughty Dog games?
The GBA ones. No, but it's just the fact that they kicked off it's worth mentioning that. No, they did do the kart racer for Jack, though. That was Naughty Dog.
Interesting. I didn't
the more
even
you
know.
People think they didn't. The more you know. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's called Jack X. And then, of course, Uncharted, the big defining game series of the PlayStation era now. And then The Last of Us is one of the greatest games of all time. So,
yep,
easy. GG 2 E's.
Unquestionably.
All right, Dylan, what is yours?
Number 5, I put Ubisoft, but I think it's like Ubisoft Montreal, technically.
Yep.
The correct, yes. I'm thinking now because they've got 4 or 5 million different studios. They're one of a couple studios that would define the PS3 or the current gen of gaming for me. The Assassin's Creed franchise, the Far Cry franchise, kind of reinvented, reinvented the open world gaming to me.
Yeah.
I remember playing GTA 4 on PS3, and it's fine. Sure, I'm not a huge fan of that game, and I haven't even played GTA 5, and it's one of those games that everyone shuns me for.
Just the number one selling media thing ever.
Yeah, and I haven't played it. I'm sorry, everyone, but there was something about playing the original, or maybe not the original, but Assassin's Creed 2, and then Far Cry 2, 3, the mechanics and all those that everyone hates now, the climbing to the top of the towers, that sort of stuff to unlock more of the world map. But at the time, that was really defining and sticks out as a huge part of open world gaming to me for the past 6-7 years or something, I suppose. Yeah, Ubisoft. And then of course they've created other franchises over the years that are worth mentioning, like Prince of Persia, which I'm a huge fan of, the original trilogy on the PS2. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, it's Prince of Persia.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. That was a thing. Should come back. They should bring that back.
Well,
why not?
Yeah, no, I'm in.
Yeah,
no, I'm in.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero convincing. I'm like, nah, I'm in.
Okay, because you're like, look, don't need Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Because my brain started moving backwards. I was like, well, the last one was kind of garbage, and then I'm like, Warriors with them was pretty cool. Well, the Two Princes was all right. Sands of Time was really cool. Yeah, no,
Sands of Time. Yeah.
Convinced myself by thinking about it too much.
I saw it all happen, ladies and gentlemen, staring at his face. Go, wait, that's fine.
Yeah.
Ubisoft. That's the answer to the question.
Solid pick.
I have nothing to say about Ubisoft, so I'll go on to my next one.
I have nothing to say, so fuck your pick. Move on.
My first one is going to be DICE. They're mostly known for doing the Battlefield series, and that's where I know them from and love them from. Like, I've played every entry in the Battlefield series, and they've always had immense enjoyment out of them. And they've also done the Star Wars Battlefront series too. Like, those games are just technically impressive and beautiful to look at. Unfortunately, they've been marred by publisher pressure from like EA and stuff like that, but I can't really hold that against them. But yeah, like, I've been a massive fan of the Battlefield series for its entire life, and I'll probably end up buying every one until they stop making them. Like,
which is your favourite one? I feel like I've asked at some point before, but
Battlefield 2 holds a special place. I've had fond memories of going to there was a gaming LAN cafe in Newcastle many years ago, and I remember they used to do these things where you could stay overnight, and I remember all-night gaming sessions Battlefield 1942. Like, they have fond memories for me, going there with my brother and friends and stuff. But yeah, they make great first-person shooters.
Not on my list.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
But it was close. Short list. That was on my short list. Like the top 10.
This is one of the ones that I kind of I forgot about. And then like, oh wait, no, I have some incredible memories with DICE.
Yeah.
Especially around, Bad Company 1 and 2. Big ones.
Bad Company 2, OG, best Battlefront game. Vietnam DLC is one of the best DLCs ever.
Without a doubt. I remember a lot of... a lot of multiplayer with that, with me and the three buddies. You'd have the 4-man squad. So, what works with Battlefield is if you don't play as a team, you're fucked.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't Call of Duty. You aren't Rambo. You ain't running around fucking shit up by yourself. Like, you have to be as a team. And even better, if you all have your roles and one's a sniper, one's a whatever. You're gonna demolish, and luckily that's what we did at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I suck anus at it now. But just those fun memories of just no matter what lobby we were in, the 4 of us all had our role, all knew what we were gonna do. Communication was on point. Man, the memories with DICE are just insane.
Not even the games. Like, they developed the Frostbite engine as well, and that's been used in countless other EA titles since. And it's just a beautiful
Well,
engine.
Frostbite is now the only. It's pretty much the stock standard engine for EA games.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it is.
and like nothing sounds quite as good as a Battlefield game, and that's like using the engine, and especially like the Battlefield, not the game, but like the actual Battlefield itself.
Yeah.
Just destruction.
Yeah.
Like you cannot camp in a building because anything is destructible.
Yeah, the building will come down around you.
It's beautiful. They do exceptional work.
Yeah, even like the sports games are benefited by that engine as well. Like Madden, like the physics in that are just going up so much since they started using Frostbite. It's just phenomenal technicians in that regard as well.
Yeah, it's a solid baseline to make exceptional games.
All right, I'm going to go around. Back to you, Ryan. What is your next developer?
Now, as Dylan said, he's never played a Grand Theft Auto game, which is insane because Rockstar are fucking phenomenal. I have played literally every Rockstar release as far as I can remember. The only one I don't think I didn't spend time with was the table tennis because I didn't have an Xbox at the time. But I have literally every version of Grand Theft Auto. I'm talking, 1, 2, that fucking London expansion.
Yep.
I have Grand Theft Auto Advance. I even have a Game Boy Advance. I just bought it so I could have it. And then I've got, The Warriors and Manhunt and Max Payne and Midnight Club. Like, back when they were pumping out more than Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar were excellent. These guys like some of the pioneers of really good storytelling, especially in games. And they helped bring, speaking of, like with DICE, in terms of technological leaps forward, these guys were one of the first big open world games with Grand Theft Auto 3 on PS2.
Yep.
Like, that changed gaming, literally. And
very much so.
Yeah, and Manhunt is a fucking nuts game. And can't even play it here in Australia, so...
Yeah,
I've still got my
Manhunt.
copy of Manhunt.
Me too. I just imported Manhunt 2 as well,
Oh, really?
just for the collection. I hear it's not very good, but I wanted it.
So, how are you going to be able to play it? Because isn't it
I have a
separate
chip
region?
I have a chip
okay.
PS2.
Righto. That's fair.
problems.
Sneaky.
Yeah, Rockstar is on mine as well. Like, they have not made a game that I have not enjoyed. Like, other than table tennis. Like, I haven't played that one because I didn't have an Xbox. But not even just their games, each Grand Theft Auto is satire on America for that time period. Like, just, it's subtle and not so subtle ways of taking the piss out of American culture and capitalism and all that kind of stuff is just... I love that aspect about it as well.
Yeah, its commentary on the world that we live in is fantastic. And as you mentioned, like, yeah, so some subtle, some not so subtle satire. It has something to say, and it's not afraid to say it, and that's what makes it fantastic. So people tend to, see Rockstar games, in particular Grand Theft Auto series, for what mothers think they are. You know what I mean? Like, they are... It's one of those games that's lost in its in its stigma with the violence and the swearing and then the running over prostitutes and whatever.
Yeah.
But it is a smarter, richer, bigger thing than people give it credit for. Same goes for South Park. It's in this. I use South Park as the same example because people don't understand that this show, although it's full of swears, although it's really crude, it's one of the smartest shows on television. And Rockstar is exactly that. Behind its crude, behind its swearing, vulgarity, and violence, they are exceptionally smart and just fantastic games.
Yep. What are you going to say before I cut you off, Dylan?
I had Rockstar as number 4.
Oh, really?
Oh, without even touching Grand Theft Auto.
I've touched. I said.
All right,
I hadn't
hold
played
on.
Ah, my apologies.
Dylan, what's your next one?
Rockstar's number 4. Simply for the PS2 games, basically, because that defines the PS2 era. Like Vice City is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yep.
And if there's one game that I'll actually pay money to buy on the PS4 to play just with the freaking trophies and stuff, it would probably be Vice City, since they've added all those. Even though it probably won't happen because
They're on sale. They're on sale right now, just for heads up.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, that's just time. It's like, who's got time to go back and play a freaking PS2 game? I would love to, though, because Vice City has such fond memories for me. It's just I watch Scarface and I'd play Vice City, and I'd watch Scarface and I'd play Vice City, and then I just became obsessed with gangster movies and playing Vice City. So that was like my thing. The Vice City is the only one I think I 100%ed, or I got very close, like 90 something percent. But I did most of the things you could do, apart from, I think there was a bunch of extra side missions. We had to do the helicopter, or like one of the drone, the RC.
Yeah, the RC drone.
The
crap thing.
notoriously shitty hard one.
Yep.
Yes, there was a bonus extra quest or something you had to do apart from the main one. It was just absolute crap. But I even played a fair chunk of the table tennis thing at someone's house when that came out, and it was like, why are we playing this? Because we both know the only reason you got this is because it has a Rockstar sticker on it. But we're having such a good time playing the freaking table tennis game.
It was
so
pretty much
weird.
just a tech demo for what was going to become GTA 4. Like, the whole idea of it was just to check the new physics engine.
Yeah, exactly. And that physics engine is phenomenal. Like, Grand Theft Auto 4 is my personal favourite, mostly because the way the physics engine handles everything and the way the driving is and the way it all feels. I know that's a controversial opinion in the wider sense, but like, I love the handling, everything about GTA 4.
I think your point, like, you're 100% valid with GTA 4. Like, it went for a extra level of realism that wasn't. It's sort of got toned down for GTA 5. Like,
yeah.
in how Nico falls, or runs, or even how cars handle. Like, excuse me. Different cars handle very differently. Some are very clearly heavy, and granted, at the time it's quite frustrating. But then when you come over to GTA 5 and everything's almost the same, you can just haul ass in almost anything. It's like,
yeah, that's it.
It is good to know, because I still remember like buying the collector's edition for GTA 4 because I was just pumped.
Me too. I've still got that safety.
Yeah,
deposit box
it's
thing.
still like, I used to keep my weed in there.
Yeah, I used to keep my ammo in it.
But yeah, so like, I remember being so excited because at that time I was studying in Melbourne City, and the trams were plastered. I'm like, oh my god, like this is because back then, like, this is one of the first. Rockstar and GTA were the only big franchises to break the barriers in the same way of right now, like, Fortnite as an example is culturally significant, as in everyone knows about fucking Fortnite, but back then GTA was the only one to sort of make that leap.
And can you continue sucking their dick as well? Like, I feel like they got the most out of the PSP as well, especially those stories.
The stories,
from,
yeah.
Vice
They were
City and
great.
Liberty City. They're the best games on the PSP, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then of course you got Chinatown Wars on the DS as well.
Yeah, and then they weren't cut down versions of GTA either. They were full GTA games with the music and the radio and all the story and the whole city and everything. Like, you wouldn't think it would be technically possible.
The part that I loved the most was just they had tied in characters and stuff, and they tied in stuff from 3 and then Vice City, or like the main characters or side characters from those particular games. And just having played those games over and over up until I got those on my PSP, I just remember getting so giddy.
Yeah.
We're going, oh, this is that character, and then they go off, and then they're in that game at that point, because there wasn't a lot of side games to big franchises at the time.
Yeah.
I suppose there still isn't really, but
it's once again, another one of the first big franchises to have like spin-offs. So I'm still waiting for San Andreas stories, might I add, if that ever happens.
Stealth release on the PSP.
Yeah, now. Yeah, see, Rockstar, once again, because they're so just like, they're the badasses of the industry. They could walk out on stage, like, you're like, hey, Rockstar's here, like, oh, fuck, you want to talk about Red Dead 2? Holy shit, we haven't talked about Red Dead yet either, by the way.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, here to talk about Red Dead 2, and like, alright, everyone, sit the fuck down. We are creating Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas stories for your PSP. Everyone's like, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, yeah, what are you gonna
Look
do?
under your chair. Look under your chairs. Everyone, look under your chairs. There's a PSP 3000.
With all the dust and buttons missing and the... I don't know. I have
won
two
on eBay,
PSPs
cleared
and
it out.
both of them, the joystick come off it. So
I've
that little
got-
nub.
Oh, really?
I've got just the one, and it's the CD thing that doesn't clamp shut.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I have
who
that
was
too.
whose bright idea was it? Let's have fucking a movable part in a portable device.
The
Thanks,
Universal Media Disc.
The very first one I got, I didn't realise it wasn't meant to come out of the case. So I had to glue the case
Oh,
back
God,
on.
really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Very nice.
Alright.
I feel like
I'm going to
you're
go
that
around
bad
to
for
my
thinking that.
next choice. They're not a very well-known developer outside of a certain niche, but
Oh, here we go.
it's a Russian developer named
Here we go.
1C. They're known for their flight simulator developers. Like, they made the IL-2 Sturmovik series, which has become the premier World War II flight simulator in simulators, I guess.
Is this what you play on stream? Is this what I was watching the other day?
Yes, I was playing
So-
IL-2
okay.
on stream.
So Nick, a flight sim's like your not so secret love, like me in farming sims. Like I have obnoxious love for farming sims.
Yeah, I guess so. I just like I've always had a fascination with aviation, and being a diabetic, I'm legally not allowed to like even learn to fly. But I don't know. I just like simulation, like any kind of simulation, really, like the realism, getting those kind of experiences without actually, I guess, having to do those experiences.
Yeah, because
Does
I
that
did
make
stop
sense?
by. I did stop by your stream the other day, and I saw you had like the full get up.
Yeah, I got the full hot ass sit up, hands on throttle and stick.
Very nice. I'm very
10 minutes of him staring at it going, fuck, which button? Flick, flick. Let me pull out the 1,000-page manual to figure out how to fly this fucking plane.
No, that's DCS series. They're full on sims. Like, you have to do flight school to do them. But, yeah, just there's still a way that they model their games. Like, the flight models, by all reports that I've read from, because they've got actual pilots and even veterans in there, like old Soviet pilots, saying to help them develop it, and just the damage model and the flight model and the accuracy, and I don't know, it's just, for me, they're up there as one of the best developers.
like the detail is what is
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, their attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask, because even when I was watching the stream the other day, I still don't fully understand the game.
Yeah, I
How many
fucking know what was
players
going on.
are in a match? Because I know it's like team-based. I
Yeah.
saw a scoreboard come up at the end. So there is teams, but then you were sitting in your base and you were talking to other people that I presume was just voice chat for your team,
Yep.
and you're discussing how you fucked up a bombing run, and then you just basically flew back to base and was like, well, shit happens.
Yep.
That's the end of that's it. I missed. Like,
Yeah,
what
then
do
you
you
go back and do it again. Don't miss this time. Yeah, so
Because-
that particular server that I was playing on is called Tactical Air War, and I think it's got an 84 player limit, but it also
Jesus.
Holy.
it also
fuck.
has
It's a lot.
it tracks all your stats third party. They got a website, and it's like a big linked campaign. So what happens in that, so each match lasts for 2 hours, and what happens in that match generates a mission for the next match, and like the front lines move, and what you've destroyed affects everything, and it's just a rolling campaign. So yeah.
Yeah, it's some hardcore shit.
Yeah, that's
It's
brutal.
fun, it is.
See, like, it'd be difficult enough for me just to tackle the not vomiting while flying in a plane, and then on top of that, like having to fight a war and shit. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
These games look made for VR too, because the whole time
They
you're
are, they're
sitting in this
VR
fucking
compatible as
cockpit.
well.
Have you tried the?
And
Have
you're
you tried
oh, really?
VR Sims?
No, you
Flying
can't
sims?
plug in the PSVR. You'll need an Oculus or some
Yeah,
shit.
Oculus Survive.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
I haven't, no.
Don't do it. I vomited. I tried to do like the Call of Duty VR.
I did that one.
Yeah, I
that
did
was
that
fun.
one as well, yeah.
I was like, because like I have a crippling fear of heights as well, and what's the worst thing about being in a plane? You're really fucking high up. So the motion was horrible, and then the height, and
Yeah, I have a massive fear of heights as well, but I don't know, it being virtual.
yeah, I call it fatty fall down phobia. That's kind of it.
That's fair. All right.
That's where it's like the fear of heights doesn't come from the actual height. It's just I'm scared of falling over because it's really embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
Get stuck on my back.
I think that's a fear of embarrassment, maybe more than anything.
All right. What's your next developer, Ryan?
Keeping the rock theme going, I'm bringing in Rocksteady.
Oh.
These guys have, really only done a handful that are super prominent, at least, and that being the Batman franchises with the Arkham series. But they were literally the devs that made Batman or made superhero games cool again. They made franchise games cool again.
Yep.
I remember like playing a bunch of shitty ass games with like licenses attached to them growing up, and I'm like, these are all hot garbage. And then someone's like, hey, there's a Batman game coming out. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, no, you want to check this shit out. I'm like, all right. And then you play it, and it's got that nice sort of it's got that. The biggest thing I'm finding so far in my lists with the three that I've picked so far is each of them have then created a style or a genre. Like you've had GTA clones. Everyone's trying to get the storytelling of Naughty Dog, and people are trying to do the Rockstar fighting, system. Like, you've got your
Mad Max.
Your Mad Max, your Shadow, your
Shadow of War.
Or Shadow of War, just fucking throw them together. And then Spider-Man's looking to have it as well. Like, these guys have created something that is phenomenal, and it's like, you feel like, I know it's super cliche to say this, and every fucking review said it too. Like, you feel like Batman. Like, the punches land. The way you glide, you feel like Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this Arkham Asylum alone, it has that lovely like Metroidvania sort of like backtracking to looking things you have. You come back and the room's all different, and it's all this cool shit. And then they jump into the open world with like Arkham City, and that's fantastic. And they truly love Batman as a character. They love Batman as a property. They show a tremendous respect to the Rogues Gallery. And they throw a bunch of random ones in there for fun of it. Who the fuck thinks why would you find Calendar Man in there for some reason?
That's the biggest thing that come to my mind. Like, Rocksteady nearly made my list, but I didn't like City and Night as much as I loved Asylum, so they kind of knocked it out for me. But the biggest credit I have towards Rocksteady is actually getting me invested in Batman as a character. Like, I loved Asylum, just going around trying to find all the little stuff and like not knowing anything other than really my only exposure was the Schumacher films, and I don't know, Dark Knight had come out by then, but like I thought they were cool movies, but trying to find like the connections and actually me actively researching who this character is, how they're connected and all that stuff, and getting me to actually read Batman comics as a whole, like, that's his biggest credit to me.
Yeah, I was a giant comic nerd when it came out, so I was like in. Like I have about, I think it's about 80% of the entire like Arkham City and like the Arkham series action figures.
Yep.
Like if you walk in my house, like there's a big ass bookshelf, and the entire shelf is literally just Arkham collectors, like Arkham figures. Other than that, like I didn't buy them. Yeah, they're there, and they're fucking dope. Like the Titan Joker is huge, and then the Clayface is even huger again. Like it's.
I've got the Grundy, the huge.
Yeah, the Grundy's dope too, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. This is a big call to make, but
excuse me,
I cannot think of a game I was more excited for than Arkham City. That is if I try and think about a game that I went to a midnight release for, that building up to it, I couldn't get enough reading about it. Buying all the Game Informer covers. I went crazy for it. I stayed up to a certain time because Game Informer was doing a competition to win a signed like 1 out of 500 poster or something, and I was like sitting on Twitter refreshing it because I really wanted to win that poster. I got it, yay me. But I brought copies of the Game Informer, one to read, one to frame, read through that backwards to forwards. IGN did all these stories, read through those backwards to forwards, and I can't think of a game since then that I have been so obsessive over reading every single detail about. And it wasn't even, I don't want to spoil myself. It was, no, just give it all to me because I know I'm still going to love it all. Just put my face in that freaking game now. And another thing that really annoys me about that franchise is whenever people say the combat is button mashy or bad, because my response is always, all right, you go play the combat trials and you get 3 stars or 5 stars, whatever it is on all those. You go do that because they'll go in, they'll smash a square and they'll die or only get 1 star. Okay, you're playing the game wrong because you didn't get 3 stars. You're not playing it right at all. You can button mash on normal or easy difficulty and probably make your way through the game fine. It's not fun. You don't feel cool if that's what you're doing. If you want to play those games properly, you do have to counter everything, do the double counters, when they added the knife counters where you got to hold back and then you can take the knife, snatch it off them, combine all your moves, throw the batarangs out. That's when you start to feel really, really cool as Batman in those games. But people always say that it's button mashy. It's not. I think it has one of the coolest combat hand-to-hand systems that has been invented in the game for the last 10 years or whatever, and that's why people are trying to mimic it, because it is easy to play but hard to master. Yeah. And that's how you make a good combat system.
But speaking of like hype for Arkham City, because you spot on there, of course, with all that. But like, with Arkham City, like I was at uni at the time. I was doing my honors degree. I was literally in the lab doing an experiment, and I can't remember what I was doing. But I remember I got the message because I remember it broke street date.
Yep.
I remember getting a message like, you can go pick up Arkham City. I'm like, fuck this.
I was at work.
And I literally just dropped what I was doing, and I'm like, I'm out. And like, guys, like, what are you doing? I'm like, nah, fuck this. I'm out. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And literally just left
know
it
what happened to me?
Out.
So I got the message, it's broke street day, come in. I was at work. I had to wait like 2 hours, finish work, go on EB Games. Batman's out now. Can I give me the game. Oh, we don't have your collector's edition yet. What?
Oh, the only standard one broke street date.
But everyone's gonna, but everyone's gonna get to play it. All right, what we'll do is we'll give you a normal copy. You bring this back in a couple days when we have the collector's edition. Don't say shit to anyone. We'll give you your collector's edition, and then we'll just put this one, wherever. Okay. So I got to take home a copy. Oh, he's like, don't use the DLC code either. Like there'll be the DLC code in there for Catwoman or whatever it was. Don't touch that, but you can play the game. So got to take it home, got to play the game for a couple days, got another message from the dude, bring it back in, brought it back in, got my collector's edition. Here you go. Didn't touch the code. It was a nice guy. So that was another really weird moment where I was heartbroken for 5 seconds of my life where I was like, but no.
But keeping the heartbreak theme going, what about when they decided to fucking cancel the collector's edition for Arkham Knight?
The statue.
The car.
Yeah, I had that pre-order as well. And that
car.
looked really cool.
Like the Batmobile, I'm like, oh... Yes, and then I remember I was at Supernova in Sydney or something, and then I got a message like, son of a bitch, son of a bitch.
Your order has been cancelled, but we've made sure you'll get the second best one, whatever it is.
And it's like you can get a steelbook. I'm like,
I just got that with the Spider-Man one. That was so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I think what makes it worse is knowing other people are going to get it and I'm not.
Yeah, well, at least no.
Yeah, I suppose the
got
Batman
this.
thing wasn't as no one got the Batman one, and I felt bad, but then at the same time when they were like, oh, it's because the model was so terrible that we just couldn't sell it. Yeah. You kind of go, well...
That's that weird conflict. Ooh, thank you, but...
Yeah, it's like, thank you for not being an asshole and just shoveling out that to charge $350 to a bunch of suckers, which I would have been. But it still sucked because you're like, oh, but it looked really cool when you showed the picture of it and everything. But, it sucks.
And we should mention... with Rocksteady as well, where they gave us the old fucking sneaky, and they're like, we are done with Batman. We will never be on a Batman title ever again. And then watching E3 2016, and you hear fucking Mark Hamill, and I shit my pants. And then Arkham VR. I'm like,
Arkham VR, of course.
I remember the exact moment, because like I tried to get time off work so I could do all the E3 stuff. But I had training that week, so I couldn't bail out on it. So I'm sitting there, headphone in ear, up sleeve, down, holding the fucking thing in front of me, like being all super stinky. It's like I'm in high school and I'm trying to watch this thing, and next thing I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, get the fuck out. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Nah, it's cool.
Sorry, it's just my Tourette's.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just fucking Batman, yeah. And then when I finally released, that was like one of the first games I played in VR, and
Still holds up.
Yep.
it
I
is
feel like.
fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, like when the second you put that, you do the grappling for the grappling hook for the first time. Jesus Christ! And
Even the fact with the piano, I watched a video play the beginning of the Black Parade on the piano.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you're able to do that in VR as well, just
it's great. It's super great.
Just sit there trying
All
to
right.
slap Alfred and throw shit at
In
him
the
all
pro-
day,
in the-
like I did.
name of progress. What's your next one, Dylan?
My number 3 is Insomniac. Because they also hold a very special place in my heart, the PS2 era, because I loved the Ratchet and Clank games a lot. That was a franchise that I probably played second to another one, which is my number 1 pick. And I still have a very soft spot for. And the rebooted, well, not reboot, the remake of the first game is probably one of the best games you can pick up on PS4 at the moment. Definitely one of the best looking, I think. One of the funnest. Argue with me there. And then also the Resistance franchise would be in my top 5 FPSs.
Yep.
That episode I was not on, but there you go. Resistance.
There's my answer posthumously.
I'm a big fan of the mascot type stuff because that's like when I got into playing games, it was Crash, Spyro, and then when I headed into my teenage years or whatever, it was Jack, and you got Ratchet, and then Sly, and I grew up thinking that gaming was bunch of fucking fluffy mascots, and that's how you sold games to me. It had to be mascots. Pikachu over here, you got Mario, you got Zelda, it's all these sorts of things. And Ratchet and Clank was also a franchise that my brother played a lot of, and so we'd have to get into arguments about who was playing the games at what time because we both wanted to play them so much. So that's a fond plus not fond memory, but something that kind of sticks in your head from your childhood gaming. Childhood, I was I don't know. Younger than you, though, is the answer to the question.
I feel like I had those kind of arguments with my brother, and I'm going to end up having those arguments with my kids. It's my turn
about what to play. Yeah, no, because you just buy 2 consoles. That's a smart thing to do.
That's true.
Because my parents weren't gamers, obviously. They would. If it was me, and if I had 2 kids, and I was arguing about what to play,
I'd beat him. No,
just
Arm wrestle me.
shut up.
Shut up. Go to bed, and then I'd play the console.
And then of course the Insomniac is putting out Spider-Man. So
That's true.
Like I don't have a strong history with Insomniac really. Like I was aware of them growing up because they did
Spyro.
Yeah, because they did. I played Spyro. At the time, it wasn't. It was that game's janky as shit. They better make that so much better.
The first one is very janky. The number 2 and especially number 3. I played them like 4 or 5 years ago, 2 and 3.
Yeah,
they were fine. Not great, but they're fine. The first one is tank as fuck.
Yeah.
Like he turns like, Spyro, you can do it.
It's like everyone's like, oh my god, Croc is so good. And like, nah, Croc is hot.
Oh my god,
garbage.
tank. Yeah.
Croc sucks. But yeah,
no, I have fond memories of Croc, but at the same time, no
fond memories. Go back to it. Just don't. Just don't.
The game haunts me though. It's legit a game that gave me nightmares.
But yeah, and like Ratchet and Clank, I didn't play, and I never played them just because like in PS2, I spent more time playing like JRPGs and shit on PS2. Like I didn't really have a lot of time for character platformers and stuff.
Like I'm growing up in my gaming, like I missed the whole mascot thing. Like for some reason it was in my periphery, and I just never picked up on the whole thing. But my relationship with Insomniac started with the Resistance as the launch game on PS3, and then just went from there. Like I've never touched a Ratchet and Clank game. Like, so Resistance are great. I like them, but I haven't played any other games, so they don't.
Does Resistance hold up?
I haven't played it for a long time, but
because that's another franchise I'm bummed I missed the boat on. So I got a PS3 later in the cycle.
Yeah,
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, it's. I didn't think the mechanics
graphically
were
it might
bad
look
at
bad,
all.
but
No, the shooting was fun and the wacky weapons and stuff like that.
And number 3 still has one of my favorite stories in gaming.
We've already done that
it's
episode.
not like it's on.
Shush.
It's not a tear jerking story. It's just it's a really great
story.
FPS story. Yeah, it's a dick jerking story. Sure, yeah. Son.
Aren't they the better ones?
Of course.
If someone gave me the option,
BMXXX.
here's a story about that's probably gonna make you cry, and here's a story about pulling dicks. I'm like, I'm probably gonna go with the pulling dicks one.
It's Mayo Simulator.
All right. My next one's Rockstar. We've already said all we can on that one. So we're going to go back around to you, Ryan.
Oh, it's like Uno. I made you skip a turn.
Yep.
As I mentioned, I played a lot of JRPGs in my PS2 times. This one is pretty much a given. Because I think you are... this is going to be dangerous if you guys think different. You're pretty much mental if you don't think that Hideo Kojima and his Metal Gear Solid franchise is not one of the best and awesomest things to ever exist. But in particular, like I've written here Konami/Kojima Productions because Konami themselves are kind of hot garbage. But when they were working with Kojima and making incredible like games with him, nothing beats the Metal Gear games.
Yep. Yeah,
period.
Kojima's on my list. Like, it's no secret that Metal Gear Solid is my favourite gaming franchise ever. And, like, even going back to what you said about Naughty Dog, like, Kojima has made the only game that has ever made me literally cry. I know you've played Metal Gear Solid 4, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know the ending... Spoilers for Dylan and spoilers for anyone listening, but...
I've played Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, well, spoilers for
Everyone here thinks I never play. You haven't played Grand Theft Auto, you haven't played Metal Gear Solid.
It's just too intellectual for you, Dylan.
Fucking hell.
But you know at the end where he's at the cemetery and is about to shoot himself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wish he did.
That made
That sounds really bad out of context, but I wish he did.
That made me cry like a little baby. Like, just... Because growing up with Metal Gear and it being... just like a part of me really for the whole time is just, I don't know, just phenomenal. And just the way he treats game development as well as part of the game, like just putting out, dropping hints and putting things in videos and it all connects up and like the Reddit type people are just going crazy trying to work stuff out.
Yeah, let's get Ryan's opinion on this. So me and Nick in the Explosion Network are supporters of Hideo dropping the million trailers for Death Stranding, and we quite enjoy watching them as what we consider like short films to digest, and it's a meta game of trying to find the Easter eggs and the Reddit threads and stuff. Kieran and everyone else hates it because it's the whole shut up and don't show us shit until the game's about to come up kind of mentality about it. Where do you stand on that?
Well, apparently my camera's frozen. That's awesome. Yeah, like where I come from is like I like watching them, big fan of watching them, but at the same time I'm like, I'd be happy if I didn't see anything until it comes out. But then if someone's like, "Hey, there's Death Stranding trailer out," I'm like, "Get the fuck out of my way! I need to get to that computer."
I'm like that way with pretty much any other developer out there. It's just the way that Kojima has a reason for it is what draws me in.
Yeah,
it's like that recent photo shoot. What they weren't working on the game just then; they were just making another trailer.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, but like even the other game, Zone of the Enders, was fun. I haven't found a copy of Policenauts to play, but I'm really keen to play that. And Zone of the Enders VR coming out, that's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
so
Kojima.
That was it. The only conflict for me about Kojima is because I know him simply as Metal Gear Solid. Like I have not dived into his other things, so that was the conflict in the list. But I'm like, there's no one leaves a presence like Kojima, so he had to be on the list.
He truly is one of the characters. Like there's developers and then there's characters where like him and the Gabe Newell and the Randy Pitchford and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and
didn't end up on my list because Hideo is top 5 best game developers, like sole entities. Konami can suck a fuck.
Well, I included it under Kojima Productions because that's what they were called when they were with Konami as well. And even if you disregard his games and like that, the development team, that Fox engine as well, that is a
That Fox engine.
phenomenal engine. It's just a shame that
And it's going to be wasted.
exactly it's going to be used on those
Yeah.
pachinki machines or whatever they're called.
Fucking hell. so sad. Talk about crying, guys.
I want to get your opinion, Ron. Where do
Yeah.
you fall on Metal Gear Solid 5?
5. I thought 5 was great. Like a little unfinished, but great. You know, because I'm somewhat easily pleased. Like I play the games that I know I'm probably gonna like.
Yep.
So when I was like Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm like, I'm probably gonna like it. And I played it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I liked it. Even Metal Gear Solid Survive, right? I was like, I'm probably gonna like this, and I played it. I thought it was great.
Get off my show.
For what it was, it was great. Should it be called anything else? Fuck yeah, it should have been called anything else.
Yeah.
But if you
Survive.
if you just called it reason to use the Fox engine, I would have probably played it. Because it's called Metal Gear because they had the assets. They had nothing. You know, like they needed to make this engine viable in terms of like monetary. So it's like, well, let's just make something with it, and I enjoyed my time with it.
I personally, with Metal Gear Solid 5, just to go on a tangent, I think it's a phenomenal game, but I don't think it's at all up to par for a Metal Gear game.
It is certainly a departure from what Metal Gear Solid had been up until that point. I don't think the open world super benefited the storytelling, because the same thing with any open world game is the second that you give someone complete agency, it's like, we have this pressing issue. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking around over here though.
Yeah.
And that's the only downside of open world. So it kind of took away the big drawing power of him as a storyteller.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that game so much.
It's
some of the best
fantastic.
gameplay in any game, as far as I'm concerned. The gameplay in that is
I agree on that
second
point.
to none.
The story just,
Yeah.
I just hated it. Absolutely hated it. All right.
Oh, you don't like Silence or whatever
Quiet.
the freaking name was in her story?
Quiet.
There you go. There you go.
All right,
That's the
Dylan,
one.
what's your next dev?
My number one is Square Enix.
We have the number one
Because
already.
I'm on to number one already. Because I knock them off as you say them. Square Enix is the number one studio that I played the most of on PS1.
Yep.
And PS2, which was obviously a huge generation of my young gaming years. I was obsessed with just playing Final Fantasy 9 over and over and over and over, because that was I wanted it so bad because I saw it in a PlayStation magazine. I wanted it so bad, and I didn't have the money to afford it because I'm a young kid and I didn't have money, and my parents wouldn't buy it for me because it's too expensive. And we was in a secondhand store one day, and it was in there for like $30 or $40 or something like that. And I remember being like, Dad, that's the game I want. That's the one I've been nagging you for ages. And we walked down to the ATM. He got the $40 out. We went back and we got the game, and I just played that game to fuckery, like over and over so many times. And I didn't go back and play 6, 7 or any of those for many, many years later. It was just all 9 through PS1. PS2, Final Fantasy X, I'm a big supporter of. Everyone hates that game, I know. Majority of people hate Final Fantasy X.
I liked it.
Final Fantasy...
I remember.
Final Fantasy
I don't remember
X.
the only thing I remember about Final Fantasy X is playing a fuck ton of Blitzball. That's it.
Oh, really? I got the laugh, Jim.
No, I think I I got to a point where I could play Blitzball a lot, and I just continuously played Blitzball.
It's not very far. You didn't get very far.
Nope, didn't get very far at all.
That game made me cry a lot. If I think about scenes in gaming that I probably first teared up, it was probably Final Fantasy X. And if you was going to do top 5 romancing stories in games one day, I'd probably be talking about Final Fantasy X again, because I just think of Yuna and Tidus in that game. And then Square Enix is another company that got me into having a higher interest in games other than just playing them, and that's why they're at number one. Because when I was a lot younger, I really wanted to learn the history and why there was a character called Sid in every game. Because you don't just know that. You click onto it one day. Why is there a character called Sid in all this? Why is it Chocobos? Like, why are there certain connecting factors in this? I went online, and this is when I first discovered GameTrailers.com, which I've talked about a lot as the website I used to read and watch a lot more than IGN. So I watched all their videos and just got obsessed with learning about all the Final Fantasies I couldn't play. I printed off all of the Wikipedia pages, which were 10 to 20 pages long each, about each game. I print them all off. I put them in double-sided slips, and I made folders. And I had like 5 folders of all the Wikipedia pages for the history of every single Final Fantasy game printed out. I then printed out the history for Squaresoft or whatever, yeah, because it was soft and then whatever NX before they formed.
Yeah,
so I printed out the
Squaresoft,
histories. Yeah, Squaresoft. I print out the history for both those gaming companies, made them into folders, and then every other franchise they'd ever made, the Dragon Quest games, printed them all out. And this is all I would sit in bed and I would read because I got really intrigued in the behind the scenes of the development of these games, why the two companies formed, etc., etc., etc. And this is the moment I can pinpoint in my life where I was deeper than just going, I'm having fun playing this. This is a cool game, whatever. I wanted to know more. So that's why it's number 1 for me. Square Enix.
Like, I'm not a massive big JRPG fan. Like, ironically, I don't have the patience for that type of game.
What? Well, click all the fucking buttons and you're playing.
Exactly. But I don't have the patience for that kind of grind, and just the story points are just few and far between. Like, they're too spaced out in a lot of JRPGs. My experience with Square Enix, like, I love Final Fantasy VII. I played Final Fantasy X. I never finished it, and then Final Fantasy 15 come out, and I got sick of that. But like, I can appreciate what they've done for the industry and the games they've created, especially for the fans of that type of game. But it's just not for me, unfortunately.
And Kingdom Hearts. Me and all my emo friends in high school just obsessed with that game because it was basically emo kids and Disney characters. We're all sitting around, had Simple and Clean, the song from the first game, on our mobile phones, our ringtones for years. Do, 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 please. Yeah, that song. Square Enix, great company.
Yeah, it's like
Ryan, tell me you love Square Enix.
Square Enix go alright because like I don't have a big thing for Final Fantasy. Like I just really don't. I have a big thing, like when I say like my JRPG, and it's like mine was some really weird shit on the PS2 and like late PS1, like Breath of Fire was one I remember playing quite a lot
Breath
of.
of Fire 3.
Breath of Fire 4 was the one I think I spent the most time with. But yeah, like it's very similar to Nick. Like I get it, like I get what Square Enix do and that sort of shit, and. But there's one particular game that I never realized was a Final Fantasy game until years later. It's Mystic Quest.
Chocobo Racing.
Mystic Quest Legend on Super Nintendo. It's like, this game is fucking fantastic. And then it's like, I was talking with my co-host Josh. He's like, that's a Final Fantasy game. I'm like, no, Final Fantasy sucks. He's like, no, it's literally like a side spin-off to Final Fantasy. I'm like, oh man, I was really bummed. But excuse me.
It was Earth all along. Damn it.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, no.
Also, shout out to Square Enix for trying to produce the first good video game movie with Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Hey, I enjoyed it.
But they tried.
I enjoyed it for
They tried.
I remember being really impressed when I was growing up. I wouldn't watch it now though because I imagine it's poops. But,
when I watched it, like,
bad.
I didn't understand. Like, Final Fantasy VII was the only game that I had played of the series, and I didn't understand why it had nothing to do with Final Fantasy VII. Because I didn't realise at the time, like, each game was its own sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how's this Final Fantasy? I don't get it. Because I was only young when it came out.
But yeah, I've only, following on with what Dylan said, I've only just played Kingdom Hearts. And I'm talking within the last 12 months.
Yeah.
And it fucking blew me away. I'm like, hang on. So these are I can play a level with Aladdin, and then move over to like Tarzan, and then Alice in Wonderland and Hercules. Like, oh shit. Yeah, like anytime there's any Final Fantasy character that talks to me, I'm like, oh, who the fuck you are, go away.
Yeah, but they don't. They don't expect
like,
you to. They don't expect you to know who they are, really.
It's like
which is good.
Like one of the first things when like I'm playing, and then it's like they do the round table of all the villains. I'm like, get the fuck out! Like, I mean, it's like there's Jafar, and there's Ursula, and there's Hades. I'm like, ah!
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Did you play 2 as well?
No, I've only played 1. I bought the...
Two's where it gets a bit more on the new characters specifically for the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and that's where the story goes off the cliff into complete batshit crazy territory. Where like, I love the Disney characters, but what the fuck is going on?
Well, like I picked up there the 1.5, 2.5 HD remux with the square root of 7.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, like that part's really dope. But like, I'm keen as fuck for Kingdom Hearts 3 just because Toy Story.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh, Toy Story. And
It's Tangled.
Yeah.
The horse.
Of course. But
Alright.
no, Kingdom Hearts looks dope. But yeah, Squaresoft do alright. They go alright.
Yeah, they're okay.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Alright, my next one is Kojima Productions. Like, we've already said everything about that, because Ryan keeps on taking all my things.
Sure do.
You saw my list, didn't you?
Sure did.
Alright, what's your last one, Ryan?
This one is one that I really just sort of recently had this, like, I guess, epiphany, probably the closest thing to it. It's Santa Monica Studios, so Sony Santa Monica. For years, I've really enjoyed, like, the God of War games in particular. Yep. And I always thought them, like, they're always just good fun. Like, you know, everyone says the story's not there, blah, 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 blah. Then I started thinking about it, and then I started pulling out all this unnecessary knowledge that I seem to have about the God of War franchise. And then it was one of those moments of, fuck, I love God of War.
Yeah.
Damn. God damn
I came
it.
to that realization too when last episode we're doing top 5 characters and Kratos just ended up there. It just felt right for me.
Well, I was talking to... Mine came from a very similar thing. We were doing, you know, our PlayStation show, and I was talking to Josh, and he's like, I don't get Kratos, I don't get his story. I'm like, alright, sit the fuck down. Here it is. And then I pulled out all this, like, the backstory, just everything. I'm like, yeah, and I love this game.
Yep.
And then, you know, now I'm, you know, jumping into the new one as well, and where they've gone with Kratos, and they've made him relevant and different and new, but still the same. But like
the evolution.
Yeah, it is a literal evolution of the character, and for that, and like, rather than, you know, this is going to sound like just stabbing at the competition, but with like Halo and what they've done with Master Chief, like there was never really an evolution there, and like same with Gears of War, like all these franchises came out around about the same time, and you know, like, yes, they all had incredible stories at that moment, but their latest generation release out, you know, like Halo 5 and Gears of War 4, it's literally more of the same. Like, they haven't actually grown as developers, grown as storytellers.
You heard it here first. Kratos is a superior Spartan.
With that said, I
didn't even click on that. Well done.
I never finished playing God of War 2 because I found it more of the same, and I got bored, and I never clicked with that franchise. I enjoyed the first game, but I found God of War 2 boring, and I was just button mashing stuff, and the puzzles were meh, and then I was like, cool, lots of yelling, not for me, not for me at all. Whatever if people enjoy it, and I dropped off. And in my opinion, it's then taken them 3 Ascension, you know, like, it's taken them a bunch of games to get to God of War 4, given just God of War 7, whatever it's actually numbered. It's taken them that many games to get to this one before they've done something with the character that's made me go, oh, I actually want to check this one out.
Well, so Sony Santa Monica are sort of part with the PSP games as an example. They were done predominantly with Ready at Dawn,
which I played all those.
Yeah. I played them both last week. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of the prequels. So in my mind, my history of God of War has been enjoyed the first game, enjoyed the prequel stuff of the first game, but anything that took place after the events of the first game, noped right out of it. The moment in one of those PSP ones where you have to push your daughter away or whatever. Why wasn't there anything emotional like that in any of the other games?
Heart-wrenching. Like, I'm having... playing it the other day on the couch, because, you know, said, like, I'm playing this one again, and then, I'll bring it up again. Hey, if you didn't know, I'm a fucking parent now. So that same moment, like, having to one, make that decision of this is the literal last moment you'll ever see your daughter, because if you have the options, you can stay here with her, and the rest of existence will just be gone, or
Perish.
you do the right thing, you step away, you let her move on, and you save the rest of it, and you save everything. And having to push her away, and then you push her away, she comes back, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
hurts me. But
So those two I have fond memories
fantastic,
for,
fucking
but-
fantastic.
The 2, no. 3, I remember seeing all the screenshots of the giant boss, the giant enemies, the titans or whatever. I'm like, cool, but the story needs to grab me. It's cool that you're fighting these giant monsters, but nothing in the trailers for 3 even made me go, why do I care? Like,
Yeah,
I don't care.
it's the mythology that threw me in. Like, I'm a sucker for, like, you know, Egyptian mythology, Greek,
Yeah.
which, like, all of that shit. It's just dope. And
I think also I'm a sucker for vengeance stories as well.
yeah, he's the perfect anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like, it's like John Wick. It's John Wick the game. Like, the whole idea is, fuck everyone in my way. I have a goal.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kill that person.
Yep. And everyone else along the way.
Yeah.
Athena!
Calliope!
Whoever. Calliope!
Oh, side
Whoever, just yell at
side
them.
note, playing in the new one with Christopher
Does he yell?
Judge. No, he actively tries not to yell so far.
Okay.
I don't know whether you guys
We'll
watch
get there.
Stargate. Like
Stargate, yeah.
my wife is
the dude with the symbol in the middle of his head.
my wife is a insane Stargate fan. So as I'm playing it and I hear him talk and he's like, "Boy," I'm like, "Oh." It's weird because it's like I'm like, "Tilk." Like I don't like. I'm not a massive fan of Stargate like my wife is, but like she's watched it so many times since we've been together, it's ingrained in my head. So now when I hear him talk and it's like, I'm like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah,
It's like when a
I'm
voice
not
actor
fan of
changes. It's like
Stargate.
Mark Hamill is in the Joker, going back to Rocksteady, and then you play Arkham Origins, and it's like I think it was Troy Baker, and it's like
Troy Baker.
Like, yeah,
but I
it's-
thought he did fine.
He did
it's
great,
weird,
but it's jarring. It's that initial jar. You know?
it is jarring, yeah. I agree.
Santa Monica, fantastic.
Yep, and because Dylan blew his load early, we're going to go straight over to my last one.
As always, you know. Slide into my DMs, ladies, at Vivaldil, VIVALADIL.
You can join in on Dylan's dick jerking stories. Alright, my last one is the Creative Assembly. They're predominantly known for the Total War series, and they also did Alien Isolation, which is arguably the best Alien game made, in my opinion.
Well, that Gearbox one, though.
No.
Colonial Marines.
But yeah, the Total War series has been going since the year 2000. It began with Shogun Total War, and I jumped in with their second one, Medieval Total War, and just the way that they, I don't know, kind of like separated the campaign, like the campaign map to the battle thing to two separate things, like a real-time tactics. Yeah, it's not an RTS, it's a real-time tactics where you, in the campaign, you build up your empire and you build forces and diplomacy and all that, and then you go into the battle mode and everything that you've built is just there on the field for you to control, and the massive scale battles, and even up to recently they've done the best use of the Warhammer license that I can think of as well with their Total War Warhammers. I think what they've done has changed the game in regards to that sort of game, and they do it the best as well. And I'll give them a lot of credit as well for really getting me invested into researching history and the history behind all these events in their historical ones and stuff like that. Like, I always give it credit for developing my interest in it as well. I don't know if either of you have any relationship with them or experience with their games.
Not really. Oh no, I've never really had like because they're quite PC demanding games, if I remember
They are,
right.
very much so.
I've only just recently had a PC that hasn't been, a dumpster fire. So, they have also always been on my radar. But same as you with, like I don't have the patience. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Like for me, it defines that one more turn kind of gameplay as well. Do you have any, Dylan?
No, I haven't played any of them. I'd like to,
Yeah.
but it's just time, effort.
Yeah. I can understand that. It's very
Time,
Yeah.
effort. I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
No, I've always had the interest in checking them out because I grew up playing a lot of Age of Empires. I know that might be offensive to say, but I do. And then I've played some of the, I meant to blank on the game, the StarCraft stuff. So real time strategy stuff. I do actually play some real time strategy stuff. But it is, I have to sit down and play a match for like an hour or whatever to commit to an hour in front of my PC for it to be over, and they can go longer, I hear. Nick's losing his mind over there. What have I done
sorry.
now?
I'm just
What
trying
have
to
I done
process
now?
how growing up playing Age of Empires could be offensive.
Because
I
it's the
figured
dead,
to some
the dead
hardcore-
simplest of RTSs, pretty much.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I figure some hardcore RTS fans will be like, "Oh, you beat Age of Empires? Did you get it out of your Kellogg's box?" Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I came from a lower middle, low income household, so fuck yeah, I got it from my cereal.
Yeah,
I played
yes,
the shit out.
Especially when the Pizza Hut did the deals too, when you got a game.
Yeah, I got those as well.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, like it's very. I wouldn't say niche because it's quite popular, but it's if you're not into that type of game, like it's very hard to get into as well. Like I've got a campaign going that's been going for 50 odd hours so far, and like there's turns where you feel like you're not making any progress, but it's slowly building up, kind of like that Civilization kind of mechanic where it takes time to get going. So it's very much an investment.
Yeah.
All right, that has been another episode of Top 5 with Nick. I'm your host, Nick. I'm joined today by a very special guest from the PopCulturists, Ryan Betson. Where can we find you and all the things you do?
You can find me on the YouTubes with the PopCulturists, where we do live streams and games and arguably the real number one Australian-made PlayStation podcast. Just saying.
I'm not getting involved.
You can have Australia. I'm taking Oceania.
I ain't got shit on the Oceanas, but Australia, yeah.
Think big, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking small, and then I encroach. That's how I plan it out. But no, yeah, we do a PlayStation show as well. We do streams, all those sort of things. Yeah, that's it at the point.
And you also have a Patreon?
We do have a Patreon, patreon.com/thepopculturists. It helps support what we do. If you've ever seen our stuff, it helped build this set behind me. Made that
yes,
possible.
It's very impressive.
It helped me build this table, which is literally a door with legs on it.
Hey, it does the job.
Gotta aim high, you know.
Hey, I didn't tell you make a lot of money on Patreon, all right? Like,
Definitely go check them out and support them if you can. They do fantastic work.
Thank you very much,
I've always
sir.
been a big fan. Dylan, where can we find you?
Twitter, Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. Got to pump my Twitter twice this week.
Slide into those DMs.
Thank you.
And you can find me at Lord Empire. You can find the show at Explosion Pod. You can find this show and all the other shows on the network over at explosionnetwork.com. You can find us at Twitch on twitch.tv/Explosion Network. And we also recently got a YouTube custom URL. What would that be, Dylan?
hey, congrats, guys.
YouTube.com/Explosion Network, I think. I don't know. Just go subscribe to our Twitch, really.
If it's wrong,
Follow the Twitch.
if it's wrong, blame Dylan. You can rate and review
Yeah,
us on iTunes.
we can fight Ryan on that thing too. Where he's all YouTube, we're all Twitch. Who's really? number one,
We're slowly edging on over to that Twitch. I'm like,
Oh,
Stay off our
turf. It seems to be a lot of fun.
Hashtag fuck YouTube.
Well, the second they're like, hey, guess what? You don't make any money here. I'm like, you
Yep.
know what? Shove it.
Yeah.
Yep, a million bad decisions.
Like all the streams over here now.
You could do us a favour and rate and review on iTunes. If you don't use Apple products, what you could do to help support us also is
Get a
just
better phone.
spread word of mouth, because we don't do much advertising. So just tell your friends, go, hey, you like 5 things, go listen to this show. On that note,
That is the best.
On that note, thank you very much for joining me, Ryan, and good night, everyone.
Holy fuck! If that's not a sell, I don't know what is.